So the MCU Phase 5 and 6 is a big one. Phase 5 will be the shortest phase yet with only 2 years, but it'll have the most movies crammed into it and TV shows, so it'll be pretty oversaturated. But essentially, stages 5 and 6 are going to be about the multiverse, or a multiverse saga, which is the second saga in the MCU. So rundown of the saga is that it starts with Loki. Now at the end of Loki, obviously they kill the one who remains, or he who remains, or I'll call him the Timekeeper. Now this frees the timeline and allows a spell to go wrong in Spider-Man No Way Home, which leads to the multiverse war, which will happen in the Kang Dynasty. Now, the one who remains, or the Timekeeper, is actually a version of Kang, who's going to be the main bad guy of this, saga. Now, he is going to first appear in February next year in the movie Ant-Man Quantumania, which is going to be the first movie of Stage 5. I keep calling it Stage 4, my bad. And so, obviously, we've already seen the actor and play version of him. This Kang in Quantumania will probably be, the Kang that will follow during the saga. So, quick rundown of the Kang Dynasty. So Kang is a version of the Timekeeper who wants to destroy all the other timelines because there's going to be a big timeline war, and so the Avengers need to stop him. But even though that'll mean that the universe will be destroyed, so they'll probably end up fighting with him. But then comes Secret Wars. Now, the Kang Dynasty comic and the Secret Wars comic are two completely different things which are not connected. Now, this Secret Wars will probably be based on the 2015 Secret Wars from the comics, not the 1960s, 70s, or 80s one, which is a completely different one. So in Secret Wars 2015, Doctor Doom creates this battle world, another dimension. So he takes the entire multiverse and creates this one planet called Battle Planet, and he rules this planet as God Doom's Doctor Doom. And a good thing to know is that both Kang and Doctor Doom are both related to each other, and they're also related to Reed Richards, aka not Mr. Incredible, Mr. Fantastic, in the Fantastic Four. And funny enough, there is going to be a Fantastic Four movie at the beginning of Phase 6, which is one of the only 3 movies announced in Phase 6, which will be, of course, the 2 Avengers movies, and then Fantastic Four. Now, of course, I am hoping there'll be an X-Men movie in this somewhere, in Phase 6, because they didn't announce any of the other movies there, but it's good to note that the Fantastic Four is one of the only 3 movies announced in that time period, or in Phase 6, which is key to note because they announced it with 2 of the biggest, or what are going to be 2 of the biggest superhero movies of all time, much more than Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. Now, I believe that Kang will probably be the main ruler of Battleworld in Secret Wars, which will actually mimic a lot of the game Lego Marvel Super Heroes 2, which actually, the plot of that game is that Kang actually took a bunch of worlds from different universes and created one big battle world and ruled it, and so then the heroes have to take down his rule. So I believe the movie will draw direct inspiration from that. Will pretty much be a one-to-one recreation of that. Now, I believe that Doctor Doom will still take part in this because obviously Doctor Doom's the main bad guy of the Fantastic Four, and they also announced the Fantastic Four. Like, think about it, they announced it with, again, the two biggest movies, so, and also the two main bad guys of those movies, Doctor Doom and Kang, are relatives of one of the Fantastic Four, so Doctor Doom and Kang will probably team up in both movies. Now, I believe Kang will be the main villain, and Doctor Doom will just be like a sidekick, but especially because Doctor Doom is seen as one of the most liked and best comic villains in all of comic books, actually. And so I do believe he will take a big part, or be a big part in these three movies. And I still hope that we do see God Roller Doctor Doom like we did in the 2015 Secret Wars comic. So that'll be good for fans of Doctor Doom, but I believe Kang will still be a big part of that. Now, I do think that Kang will play a much bigger role in MCU phases 5 and 6, or throughout the multiverse saga, and like a lot of the just random movies a lot more than Thanos did, because Thanos was just kind of in the background in the end credit scenes, not really doing much, but I think Kang will definitely play a much bigger part in this. Or well, just the MCU multiverse saga in general, which I think will be neat because it will hype him up a lot more, especially because these movies will automatically have a lot more hype, because there'll be a lot more crossovers and all that. So I'm actually very excited for it. We will have to wait a while, but then again, when you think about it, it's not that long since MCU Phase 5 will only be 2 years, and then we get MCU Phase 6 or the Fantastic Four and the two Avengers movies within 2025. And both Avengers movies will be in the year 2025, which will be pretty good. Now, I do believe that is a problem because if you look at the timeline, there's a whole lot of movies in Phase 5, which will only be spread over 2 years, so it'll be even more saturated than the MCU was before in previous years, which I do believe will be a problem and make it so that the MCU isn't much of an event anymore, as it is kind of like a homework chore to watch each movie. And I hope they have a lot more projects like Moon Knight where they are a lot more self-contained. Like, for instance, Moon Knight wasn't directly connected to any of the other MCU movies. Like, it did take place in the same universe, and apart from a small billboard on the bus that referenced a company that was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there wasn't much other big connection to the rest of the MCU, which made it great for casual viewers, which I think is a big problem right now because a lot of casual viewers aren't really getting into the MCU. So yeah, but I do hope that they can at least make each project feel unique while still having Kang play a big part and slowly ramp him up. Like, they have small references and they introduce Kang in each movie as if he's never been introduced before, or unless the viewer's never seen him before, which will make it great for just casual viewers who've maybe read like a solo comic, maybe seen like the Daredevil show, then wants to watch the MCU version and won't have any big like things that you would have need to watch first. Like, for instance, She-Hulk, which Daredevil will appear in first and has already been teased multiple times, and also bringing back Kingpin, which has already been shot twice or shot once in the head, which you would have thought would have survived or would have died from, but in the comics he survives, so he'll probably be back, and casual viewers might wonder why he's got a bullet hole in his head, or maybe he's got like a bandage on, but I hope they clearly like explain that. So yeah, So overall, I'm pretty excited for the MCU Phase 5 and 6 and the Multiverse Saga. Bit of a rundown of who Kang is and what will happen, and I'm pretty excited actually. There's only a couple of the nitpicks, but you know. Anyway, I'll see you later. Bye.